Hey guys, it's Claire and welcome back or welcome to In the Real, the podcast that provides a safe space to talk about whatever we want with absolutely no judgment. I am the most excited for this episode today because we have very two special people. We have Kaleigh Fratkin and Jillian Dempsey of the Boston Pride. How are you guys doing today?
Great.
Yeah.
Really excited to be on. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. If you guys do not know who these individuals are, let me tell you. We'll start with Kaleigh. She's the first Canadian player to sign an NWHL contract. She's a former Boston Terrier. She was the 2019-2020 NWHL Defender of the Year. Congratulations, by the way. She currently holds the record for All-Stars hardest shot at 76 miles per hour, and in 24 games this past season, she scored 3 goals, 20 assists, and it's a plus-minus of 33. So you did very well this season, as we can see with the stats. And Jillian is a former Harvard Crimson. She's the current captain of the Boston Pride, an Isabel Cup champion. And in 24 games this past season, she has 17 goals, 23 assists, and a plus-minus of 28. So clearly these girls are very good at what they do. But yeah, so what has things been like for you since quarantine has started? Obviously, we just found out the season's been postponed.
Yeah,
I mean, for me, I am a school teacher, so
I did hear about that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. When quarantine started, though, things were definitely, everything was shaken up. It was very strange to have the school year interrupted in that way. And I think it was March 13th, the day that we were supposed to play the championship, that we found out, we're not going back to school for 2 weeks. And I think at that time, I was hopeful that we'd be back. And I don't know, I had this, clearly naive and false hope that things were just going to turn around and we take a couple of weeks off and then we'd be back in school before the end of the year and doing what we normally do. But obviously that did not happen. So it was a very strange end of the year. And, but it, being in summer has been great because summer's been as usual, training, playing hockey, getting some beach time, but looking forward to whatever's going to happen in the fall for school. I know it's going to be weird as well, but that's kind of been it with me, thinking about school and being fortunate, though, to be able to continue training and not really have that disrupted as much.
And for you, Kaleigh?
Yeah, I would say the first part of quarantine was very isolating and was kind of going stir crazy just with everything being closed. But as things have opened up, we've been back on the ice. Jill and I have been back out on the ice and training, and there's a little bit more flexibility to being able to do the things that we need to do to get back in shape for the season and ready for the season. And then work-wise has just been trying to balance. I do a lot of events, like live events, and I'm engaging with people all the time. So my work at Under Armour has been kind of flipped upside down and doing a lot more internal projects and working with different teams internally, which has been great, but certainly different. So just a part of adapting and trying to kind of go through this because like Jill said, it's like we thought this was going to be a short-term thing and it just totally has not been. So just going with the flow, figuring it out, and I'm just excited to get the team back together so we can get ready for season.
And you guys still have that final game left to play for the playoffs, don't you guys?
No, they ended up having to cancel. But it made sense. Everybody understands there were factors that were well beyond anybody's control, and we did the best that we could with trying to schedule it out and figure it out. But unfortunately, it just wasn't really feasible. So we are. What we're saying is we're hungrier than ever. We're on to next year. We're on to 2020-21 season, and we're more determined than ever to go out there and kind of take care of business and win the cup.
Yeah, I mean, you guys were 1 game away.
I know.
Yeah. That one of the boys team, who is also 1 game away against the Blues, but that was unfortunate. But it sucks. Yeah. So are they just you guys aren't playing that game at all, and we're just gonna start fresh again?
Yep, we're just starting a new brand new season 6, and the stakes are even higher though now that we have that kind of unfinished business, and our main focus is to go win the cup. That's what we wanted this year, and obviously didn't happen. So that's continuing to be the goal. And, you know, we've had a long off season to think about it and to continue to work and be prepared for this upcoming season. So we've definitely taken all of that very seriously to get prepared because we really want to win. So
I think that would make me more motivated. It's like we were this close and we can totally do that again. I mean, you guys are, I think you guys, looking at stats, were the best from last season. So I think you guys will definitely give everyone a run for their money this coming season once we actually get things going again.
Yeah, it's kind of that closure, I guess, that we never really had to finish off that season. But in regards to the actual 2019-2020 season coming officially to a close, we're kind of on to that next, the returning players that do have that in mind to kind of understand what we went through this past season. So the focus is to really bring that cup home. But they just announced now that our actual regular seasons won't be starting until January. So even more of a delay, but it's good. We've gotten the group together and we're starting to skate. So, it's just giving us more time to prepare, I guess, for when season hits.
So yeah, what has training looked like for you guys because of all this thing going on?
Well, for off-ice training, we both used to obviously go to a gym, and those were closed for, 2 months or whatever it was. And now most are probably back open, but with the 6-foot distancing and masks and a lot of limitations, they all give me a hard time because I've been raving about my assault bike because I purchased one of those in that 3rd week of March or whatever it was. And I'm just so grateful that I did that when I did, because that's kind of gotten me through in terms of conditioning and, keeping the legs with the off-ice training. I'm not much of a runner, so I've done most of my conditioning on that bike. But I think most of us have tried to get, whatever kettlebells, dumbbells, like little different pieces of a home gym, and tried to create that so that we can continue to do most of the exercises that we need to do, like despite not having all of the wonderful amenities that our gym has. Like I train at Mike Boyle Strength and Conditioning in Woburn, and that's one of the best facilities. So it was definitely an adjustment to go from having that set up to having my own home set up. But I think it's actually gone pretty well considering. And that's what off ice has been like, pretty much being at home and making the most of all of the different equipment that we have at home. But like Fratty mentioned, we've been fortunate that we've been able to get back on the ice, and I think it was like early July, and we were really rearing to go because it had felt like it'd been so long, and with the ending being so abrupt, there wasn't really time to process the fact that the season had ended. So been thrilled to be back on the ice because obviously we enjoy that the most. So that's kind of, now it's into more of a regular feeling of off ice and on ice work. But I'm still not back at my gym just because I have stuff that I need here, and we'll see when things kind of improve there. But Fratty, I know that you went back to the gym recently, so.
Yeah, I went back to the gym recently, very much to what Dempsey was saying, like 6-foot rule. If you are able to the social distance, you don't have to wear a mask. Some facilities are different than others, but like I have 2 setups. So in my gym here in my building, in my apartment building, they opened that back up finally. So they actually didn't open that up for a really long time, but you do have to wear a mask full time. So it is very challenging trying to do a full and high intensity workout. With a mask, it's uncomfortable. And I still haven't gotten my Under Armour mask yet from work. So it's like a performance mask. So I'm mad about that. But nonetheless, it's been challenging trying to do like treadmill sprints, and just different Olympic lifts, like with the breathing. You feel like you're in an elevated setting, but you're not. It's weird.
Oh yeah.
It's really just weird. And then I have gone back into a trainer that actually used to train at Mike Boyle's for years, and he's gone off and done his own thing. And I went into his gym last week, in a little bit of a different setting because you could definitely socially distant and you didn't really have to wear your mask. So yeah, just kind of going with the flow. Our training structure is normally very regimented. Like, you know that you're kind of set on a specific like 2-month plan or 3-month plan gearing up to the season, and you do kind of eccentric kind of muscle building throughout that period. And now it's like, okay, well, we thought our season was going to be November. So it's like we had a training plan aligned from July to November. And then you're like, just kidding, now it's January. So you're like, okay, so what does my training on ice look like? What does it look like off ice? And Demps and I have been skating with Mckenna and some of the other players on our team. So we've been kind of making it work and like trying to get some structure, and we have some structure set in place. So yeah, it's been a wild ride, I guess. I don't know how to better explain it.
So you guys are both in Boston right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you guys will train and things as if there was a season, although there's not a season, or no?
Yeah, well, as far as the way that we're kind of approaching it is, we were expecting to start games in mid-November. That got pushed to January. So that just means we have about a month and a half more time to prepare as a group and get ourselves mentally and physically ready to go. And we know that when the games start in January, it's going to be like a 10 to 12 week grind of every single weekend back to back to back. And so we know that we're kind of preparing for that, building the endurance and just knowing that that's what it's going to look like. It's going to be a grind, but we really are confident in our chances with that, especially with this extra time to have the team together to prepare. So we're basically looking at 4 months-ish together as a group, and our sole focus during that entire time is going to be, building that team culture and getting into that mindset and being ready to go. Because when January comes, when that first game comes, we want to be at our peak performance and just build from there, because we have an ambitious goal and we want that cup. So we're going to do whatever we can to prepare for it. And, it stinks that things got pushed back, but that's understandable as well, and we'd rather it be proactively rescheduled, I guess, versus, next week's game, game day. Oh no, now it's like a month and a half away. So at least now we know, and we can use that time wisely and plan efficiently and really be training and ready to go.
Mm-hmm. My first thought when I heard that the season was postponed and the last game was canceled was, you guys actually have other careers outside of hockey, and that you either won't be able to go back to, or you might have to go back to sooner because you guys won't be playing as much. So what's that been like for you guys?
It's just, I would say it's far different. So when we had it postponed, like compared to, I guess, some of the other professional leagues, like you look at the NHL that's in a bubble, and you look at the WNBA and NBA, they're all in a bubble, and WSL and PLL. Anyways, all the professional sports can really go into a bubble setting. But I think what's so different about the NWHL, and something to take in consideration, even when they were postponing the season into January, is the fact that we do have those jobs, like you said, those secondary jobs. So we can't bubble. You can't take the 2 weeks off to go bubble and try and condense an entire season into maybe 2-3 weeks, maybe a month or two. We really can't do that. So that's actually very challenging. And I think another big reason why they were pushing the season back into January, or even the thought of, the postponement. I guess we did only have one game to play. So thankfully we weren't, midway through the season or the start of playoffs or the tail end of our regular season where we would have had to consider, well, what do you do? So again, totally difficult kind of situation to be in just with those secondary jobs. But I think it's pretty fair to be able to condense the season this coming year into the January, March, end of March type setting. We had a lot of weekends off this past season, or we have in the past, just given the fact that there's like other events, or knowing that people do work, those 9-to-5 jobs. So we can't like travel on a midday, during the week on a Wednesday night and have a Wednesday night game in Buffalo. I wish we could do that, but we can't because we have those secondary jobs. So there's a lot of that comes into consideration. But like Jill was saying, like our games are now going to be from January to March. It's going to be a lot of hockey in that time period. So beforehand in the regular season, or in prior seasons without this whole COVID, we didn't have that much time together as a team before we started. It was like you had basically 3 or 4 weeks and you played your first game with maybe one exhibition if you were lucky. So I think in hindsight, in the bigger, kind of in the bigger picture, it's probably a blessing in disguise that we do get to have now 4 months together as a team before we do play that first game. But yeah, it's different.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, are you guys have any team building things planned for the next few months? Or what are you guys going to do with the team to help prepare?
I don't think anything's set in stone yet, but we've definitely been thinking, okay, now that we have all this time, we can really have some weekends to be able to organize things like that, get the group together. And I know we have an amazing staff with our president, Haley Moore, owner, Miles Arnone, Coach Paul, and GM Carolyn Pilch, and we know that they're working nonstop to make the situation the best that it can be for us. So we know that they're going to be taking care of what that's going to look like on the ice, and our practice schedule, and making sure that it's staying creative and fun during that time as well, since 4 months of no games is a long stretch, so they're going to be making sure that that's good to go. And we're going to do our best to get the group together outside of the rink. And, I think what we're really excited for is just building off of last year. We had great character in the room, awesome personalities, work ethic, everything like that. So we've only added to it this year. We have we're expecting a lot from the incoming rookies. I almost said freshmen. The incoming rookies, they have high expectations from us, and we expect them to jump in and fill those roles. Like they're not going to have that, oh, you're just a rookie grace period. We're like, we have a job for you. You have to come in. You have to own that. And but we know that we're bringing in great character as well. That's something that we kind of prioritize in the program. So we're excited to get the group together on and off the ice, and really be building that chemistry and that culture so that we can go take care of business.
Mm-hmm. So what would a typical season look like for you guys, COVID aside?
A typical
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like training, team building, like games. What would that look like for you guys?
Yeah, normally, kind of how I was saying prior, is we would probably get together. We normally get together beginning of September, and then you have kind of the month of September of practices. Typically, teams practice 2 to 3 times a week. That's kind of what practices look like, and then you're held accountable kind of on your own to do either extra ice. So if you have like skill sessions in the morning, or if you can get ice really early, kind of outside of our practice schedule, workouts as well, you're kind of held accountable to work out. It's kind of like you're held to these expectations, and at this point, post college, at the professional level, to be able to give top end excellence, you should kind of know how your body is and how you need to be, and what kind of extra stuff you need to be doing. So that's definitely kind of a no-brainer there. And then in terms of games, it's usually 1 or 2 games a weekend, depending on schedule or who you're playing. Like if we fly out to Minnesota, you're playing like a Saturday, Sunday game. So you would fly out there Friday, you play Saturday, Sunday, and then you'd be leaving Sunday night, just because girls have to get back for their jobs. Or if we go to Buffalo, you're only playing 1 game up in Buffalo. So that's kind of typically what it looks like. This past season, we had 24 regular,
I think.
Yeah, 24. So that's actually probably the most that we've had in the
Definitely
NFL.
Is.
Seasons prior to that, we had maybe 16 to
16
games, like only 16 games, which is wild. You would go play 1 game a weekend, and then you'd have like an entire month off sometimes, occasionally, depending on some of the other tournaments that kind of surrounded of what's going on in women's hockey, or a 2-week break, and then you'd play a game. So this is definitely the highest volume. This coming season, we're supposed to have 20 regular season games with an addition of 6 teams, which will allow for a little bit more travel because you're going to Toronto. So that's kind of typically what it looks like. I don't know, Dempsey, if you want to add anything, go for it.
No, I feel like you summarized that perfectly.
Oh, wow. Thanks.
Yeah, good job.
It's crazy to think that the women's league hasn't been around very long and there's significantly less teams than in the men's league. It's so crazy to think about because you guys have to have other jobs. You guys aren't going to be playing all year like the guys, and it's not always about hockey, which is insane.
Yeah, it's funny because when you think about it, the NHL started with the original 6. So, you always have to start somewhere. And I know that, my dad was a big fan of watching the Bruins and the Bobby Orr era, 70, 71, 72. I think, when they won the cup, I think was 70 and 72. And, the big bad Bruins of the 70s. And, it was on the other day and he was saying something like how they didn't train in the summer the way that hockey players train now. Like they worked. And that's just in the 70s, thinking back to, it's not really that long ago. And, I obviously everybody wants wants the game to continue to grow. And we want to get to the level that the NHL is at. But it's going to take time and it has to build. And so it gives confidence to look back and think the NHL started with the original 6. Look where they are now. So if we can, we had our original 4 and we're up to 6 now and continue to build, and down the line, hopefully it'll be as watched and, as big of a, I don't know how to word it, but as popular as it is as the NHL, and everybody will get fired up for playoffs. And I think anybody who's with the NWHL now really enjoys it and loves it. And whoever watches is like, oh my goodness, more people need to watch. So we can get everybody else watching. I think that there would be definitely building that fan base. And, the end goal is to just keep growing the game and, improve salaries and everything like that. But we're starting and we're building. So
I mean, right now you guys are kind of like everybody's like little secret, like you can go out in public and don't have to worry about, I guess you probably do get noticed, but you can go.
No, definitely not.
I
know. Like if Tara went to the grocery store, everyone's like, oh my God, see,
Yeah. Well, we definitely don't have that. Sometimes it's always a surprise if you're in a Pride hat or sweatshirt. And occasionally someone will say, hey, that's Boston Pride. And you're like, you know about it. And it's kind of an awesome feeling when there is some recognition. And then, you're definitely happy to have a conversation with a fan anywhere, anytime. So
it's like more intimate right now,
Yes.
Yep. I happen to be at the dog park, an old dog park where I lived last. And I had gone to the dog park all the time. And then I happened to be, it was during playoffs last year. And this guy goes, is that a Bruins sweatshirt? And I was like, no, it's the Boston Pride. And the other lady standing there, there's a bunch of people with their dogs. The other lady's like, wait, Boston Pride? Do you play on the Boston Pride? And I was like, yeah. She goes, oh my God, I've been to so many games, blah, 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 blah. Then meanwhile, the whole dog park is like, there's like 10 people. They're all like, oh my God, we're going to come to a game. The Boston Pride, that's so cool. And I was like, oh God, here we go. Everyone's going to bring their dogs.
I was going to say, we should have a bring your dog to the game and then we'll get the whole dog park.
It might scare some of the dogs though.
They'll just run back and forth following the puck probably.
That'd be really interesting. Yeah, you guys should have like a meet and greet at a dog park sometime.
Gotta get fans. Good marketing.
True. Hopefully, yeah. I mean, hopefully. I mean, it's crazy how the game of hockey in general has just grown so much over the past 20, 30 years. Like, goalies have just in the last 15, 20 years started getting on the ground. They're not standing the entire time. So, like, imagine in the next 10 years what women's hockey will be. Maybe 10, 15, 20 teams will be in the league,
Well, it's taken the WNBA to, like, you look at a sport like that, that's definitely on the peak side of women's professional sports. And it's taken them, 20, 23, almost 24 years to kind of get to where they are and get a CBA that they're so excited about, and all, like, fancy games and a whole kind of different setting. And, we're only in year 6, like, really, of a, true professional league that's, trying their best to pay players and grow it and make it a business. So definitely a long way to come, but every single year there's progress in some manner. So, and I think this past season was kind of proof of that. The fans that we had at games, on a consistent basis, especially in Boston, our fans have been so like loyal, to the organization, are really supportive of it. So, yeah, there's some good things that have been put in place in this league. And I think as these girls come out of college and know that, entering into college and know that they have, potential to aspire to play professionally and have a place where they can play post that is pretty cool, because me and Jill didn't have that. There was a league in existence, at the time, and it was primarily based in Canada, and it was a little bit of a different setup than what the NWHL is like. And I never entered into college being like, I want to play professional women's hockey. It was like, I grew up being like, I'd love to play on the Olympic team if I had the opportunity to, but
because that's all there was.
Yeah, that's all there was. And like, there's only so many spots when in Canada and the US, there's like 20 and change spots on a team. And it's like, okay, I mean, I guess if I'm lucky enough to be one of the 20, but if you're not, do I have to be done playing hockey? And that just didn't make sense. Like, I remember being in college my sophomore year and being like, okay, well, if I don't make a Canadian team because I'm Canadian, I was like, well, am I done playing hockey in 2 years? Like, after my senior year, am I done playing hockey? And that was the reality. And so now the NWHL, these girls that are coming on our team this year, that rookie group, or our freshman class, want to call them, like, those girls came into college knowing that an NWHL existed and that they could like play in a professional league. And now there's 6 teams, so it's not going to overnight. Like, I wish that I could like snap my fingers and be like, overnight there's 30 some odd teams. I'm making a couple $100,000 a year to play hockey and that'd be my life. Trust me, I would freaking love that. But it's just not the reality. That's not where it is. It's growing. It's getting there. And we're moving at a place, and there's great management and great groups and individual ownerships now, like so many good things that we should be, proud of what's come.
And there's still only, right now there's 4 teams. You said 6 teams will be in WHL next season. That's still not a significant amount of teams. So there's probably so many talented women who won't make those teams just because there's not like enough room for them, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah. I don't, Dems, go ahead if you want to build on that.
No. Yeah. I mean, like you said, we want to create opportunities. That's why it's great that there's a new team added for so many reasons, but that's also, however, 20 other spots that now girls graduating college who maybe thought, I guess I'm done, had a different opportunity that they could maybe play for one of the NWHL teams. And we always come back to, I'm just I always say I'm living the dream. Like, I get to do 2 things that I love. I love my day job of teaching. I love being in the classroom. I love working with my students. And at the same time, I get to live my dream of playing professional hockey. And it doesn't really conflict. Like, maybe on a Friday, if we have to leave for travel, I might have to, take a half personal day or something with school. But for the most part, it doesn't conflict. And I get to do both and put in the amount of time and effort into both that I want to put in. And it works out perfectly for me. So, we're very fortunate to continue playing the game that we love. Like, I'm 29 now, Fratty and I, we laugh. We're the older ones now. And, if you asked me my senior year in college, I would have said, no, well, I want to go make that Olympic team for the 2014 Olympics. And I got cut. And then when that happened, I was like, I guess I'm done, and I was able to play a couple years in that other league. And then the NWHL came about, and now we're entering our 6th season. So I don't think I would have imagined that I would have been playing up at this point, because it just, I don't know, it wasn't something that was available at the time. And so I couldn't really dream about it because I didn't know what it would look like. And now you just kind of take it year by year, but, have no intention of stopping anytime soon. We love it. So, for other women to have that opportunity to come into the league and play for as many years as they want or as many years as they can while balancing a job or a career that they're also passionate about, I think that's kind of special. Even though we're not making the salaries and we're not at the point that the NHL is, because I'm somebody who already got established in my other career, I like that I can do both right now. Like I would be really devastated if I had to choose one. So where it is right now, I'm just grateful that I get to do both because I love doing both. And I think it's great for all the opportunities post-college for so many of these women who do want to continue playing while pursuing something else. Hopefully as the years come on, we keep adding teams, keep expanding those opportunities, and that it grows into something truly special down the line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What are your other hobbies outside of hockey?
Hockey.
I know. Watching hockey, stick handling and shooting, training for hockey.
Working out.
I don't do well with that question because I'm very obsessed with hockey. So much of it
Hockey's my hobby.
ties into hockey. Yeah. I love reading.
Be obsessed with what you do.
Yeah, I love reading. I'm a big fan of, the Harry Potter series.
I just started it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And you've never read it before?
The first book.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the movies?
Yeah, I was at my roommate's house and we watched Sorcerer's Stone because she's obsessed with Harry Potter.
Are a million times better.
Yep,
yeah. The movies by themselves are okay, but the books,
they leave a lot of stuff out.
Yes, so much, and you can't blame them. Like, it's hard to fit 800 pages worth into 2 hours, but they always say the book is better, and Harry Potter really is. So.
Oh yeah, they left a lot of stuff out at the beginning. It's like automatically, you're a wizard, and I'm like, but there was like 3 chapters that you skipped.
Yep. So enjoy the books; they're incredible.
Yeah. Kaleigh, what about you? What are some of your hobbies?
Kind of very similar to Jill.
Walking Pepper.
I hang out with my dog a lot. He's sleeping somewhere.
I love that.
I hang out with my dog. But my hobbies really are, I guess, just the extra time that I have is with the training and working out and doing things that are hockey, but I love it. Like, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I really wouldn't. And, coaching, I really do like, still coaching and being involved in kind of the hockey side of it. And then this summer, just going to the beach a lot. We've been going to, Jill lives right on the beach basically, and we've been going to hang out there. So that's been really fun. So that's kind of been spare time, but being in the outdoors and just hanging out with friends, doesn't happen often, but I feel like this summer, just with how everything has transpired with COVID, has allowed, I think, for a little bit more quiet time, and whether it's self-reflecting or not, but being socially distant from people. So it's kind of allowed, I guess, to do things that I really hadn't done. I bought a paddle board, which was super random, very random. So I was like, I'm just gonna go paddle board randomly by myself.
And she was rocking it. She's going out into the ocean, standing up. We're
I mean, this is a time of self-discovery and learning new things.
Yeah, I guess. This morning I was online. I was because I do marketing stuff. I was like, okay, maybe I should just start taking classes in graphic design, or maybe I should do some random digital stuff. So I don't know. I like to be creative. I really like clothes and fashion. So I've just been kind of tapping into that side of myself, I guess.
Yeah. So I guess we are at that point where we should kind of get into our end of the world questions.
Oh gosh.
Because according to everyone, it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got some really fun questions for you about the end of the world. So they're all end of the world themed. And yeah, my first question is, if you could have dinner with anyone living or dead, who would it be and why?
Wow. Sorry, I need some think time.
Yeah.
I know who you're going to ask to go to dinner.
Well, that came to my mind right away, but I'm trying, we also have the option of, people who have died. So that kind of expands things.
Yeah.
I think all of my people may be, actually, no. Dempsey, are you ready? Because I can go.
Yeah, you're ready. You go.
I would probably do Serena Williams, Tiger Woods, and Babe Zaharias.
Okay.
My favorite female athlete of all time.
Yeah. That'd be a really interesting group of people to get together.
All athletes, very random. But yeah.
Is group dinners an option?
You're just comparing your daily diets and workouts.
Sorry, that's my group dinner.
Yeah. What about you, Jillian? You have
I feel like I want to be able to have some deep dinner guest who I could like pick their brain about all, the wonders of life. But when it comes down to it, the thing that came to my mind right away, two people, since I guess we can do the group dinner, Taylor Swift, because I'm a diehard, and Tom Brady. That would be an interesting mix, but I think it would be.
Why do I feel like they've met before?
What's that?
Like they've met before for some weird reason.
You think they have?
That just sounds like random enough to have happened.
That would be. I'm not sure how they would have met, but I can see it.
Maybe he went to one of her concerts. Maybe he's a Swiftie.
Yeah, well, you know what? She does perform at Gillette, so maybe, and she wore a Patriots jersey once, so you know what? That's not far
He probably
off.
got free tickets, let's be real.
That's true, and he does have a daughter, and Giselle maybe likes Taylor. I don't know, but I'm pretty fond of both of them, so those would be my choices.
Yeah, my immediate thought was Stephen Hawking, because then I could learn things.
Yeah, wow.
I could be like, so, about this universe that we happen to live in.
Albert Einstein. I don't even think, like, he would be speaking in a different language with how smart he is, so.
I mean, you went to Harvard, so you're pretty smart yourself.
Yeah, not that kind of, not on that level.
I'm going to go to dinner with Jillian Dempsey.
Oh, is this a dinner request?
Sushi?
Sushi dates.
We'll invite Mckenna Brand.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
She doesn't even know. She'll find out later.
Yeah, it happens occasionally, so.
Saturday.
So, my next Into the World question is, imagine we're in the Hunger Games, right? Who would your district partner be? Like, you know how Katniss had PETA.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these are some tough questions. I mean, it's going to have to be somebody who would help you survive, right? Well, and yeah, because are we going with the assumption that your district, both members of the district get to survive? Okay.
Well, I guess, I mean, you could be like, we'll just be the distraction ones. Like, I guess it'd be however your gameplay for that wanted to be.
Okay, because I know that they did that twist where they said, if both members are the ones who survive. If we're going with that, it's different versus if that person's eventually going to have to go against me,
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying, right, Fratty? If you had to compete against them, it would be like.
I very much know what Hunger Games is.
Yeah.
I've never watched the Hunger Games movies.
Books are better.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
I've not read the books.
No, I've heard the books are so much better though, because my roommates in college were all reading them.
Mm-hmm.
Who would my Hunger Games person be? I'm trying to think of somebody who would have those survival skills that I don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Like a man versus wild kind of thing.
Yeah, I left this question blank for myself because I wasn't thinking about it, and then I'm sitting in front of my DVD rack, and I'm like, I would get the bride from Kill Bill to be my district partner.
Oh wow! I'm like, I'm feeling like a Bear Grylls or whatever his name is. One of those. Like, I think he's literally the man versus wild, or
okay.
There's another version of that because I mean he has all this. I'm trying to survive, so I'm picking somebody who has those skills in the wilderness who can fight people off, or even if it's not a battle, just picking the right berries and whatever. I would not. I'd be the one picking the poisonous berries because they look good, and then I'd be a goddess. So I need somebody with those skills, but I don't think I know any individuals who
pick Henry.
Have that. Is Henry would be? He would be good.
My boyfriend's very, very outdoorsy, wilderness, like. Has night vision allegedly, like
allegedly,
and other people to help you live.
I would totally pick him. He was talking Dems yesterday. We were all together, and he was talking about like I shouldn't be sharing this on a podcast, but he was talking about his like different like these knives that he has, but it's like. He's just like you're like, you have knives? And I was like, oh my God, you have no idea. This guy is like the most outdoorsy wilderness person. So
actually, you just made me think of, I might pick Dwight Schrute.
That means no one would kill him because he's funny.
I feel like somehow, that could go really, really well or really poorly, but he does have all that random array of facts and knowledge about the best ways to survive. And, I could have a chance with her. I think Bear Grylls would be better, but
no, Magic the Sirens Bob. Everyone remain calm.
Michael Scott, I'd be dead in a second.
Yeah. No, my process was, hey, if the bride can take out the crazy 88s all by herself, then we'll be good.
Yeah, I'm not even that familiar with the movie. Like, it sounds, if the movie, I've heard of Kill Bill, and it sounds like that person,
Uma Thurman, yeah,
can do some killing, so you're probably good with that, but I don't know anything else about that.
No, I'd probably just be like, no, don't kill Dwight. He's funny.
Yeah.
Just be the three of us left. Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to think. Oh wait, Kaleigh, you didn't ever give an answer. Oh, you did. You said
Henry.
Henry.
You did, yeah.
I'm just gonna take my boyfriend with me, and I'll let him die first.
Yeah. Okay. So what would be your fantasy quarantine destination if you could go anywhere, if your jobs weren't going to be affected? In the event that we had to be quarantined. Mm-hmm.
I would think somewhere on one of the beautiful beaches, like a Bermuda. I say Bermuda because I've been there before, but I guess Aruba or one of those other places would be great. Another one would be like an empty out Disney World or Universal. You're the only one there. You get to ride unlimited rides, no lines. To me, that would sound pretty awesome.
Quarantine?
Yeah, I'm picturing it as it's quarantine. Nobody else is allowed to be there, but for some reason, I get to be there, so there's no lines, but I can ride each ride as many times as I want.
But would the workers need to be there to turn the rides on?
Yeah, I guess technically, yes. Okay, I'd be on a beach anywhere if I could. That's probably, the easiest answer there. But basically, I would love to go to Disney World again. I went when I was younger, and I would love to go again. And if there were no other people, then, that removes the headache at Disney World is all the lines and all the waiting and all the other people. So if it was empty, but you still had the free reign, that would be pretty nice. I know it's not an option, but.
No, I like it.
Fantasy, I'm just saying.
It could be. It's your fantasy.
Yeah.
Your fantasy.
Disney World, Universal Studios, Harry Potter World.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was there. You have all the unlimited butterbeer that you could ever want.
That is true. I've never been to that part, so.
The Harry Potter World.
You'd say Harry Potter World?
Yeah.
You went?
Be pretty interesting.
When it first opened,
wow.
2 years ago.
Imagine being alone in Diagon Alley.
That would be terrifying, I think.
Yeah.
But I would do it.
It's very realistic.
Yeah. I mean, my original answer was I would go to Boston, which sounds so bad because you guys have one
of the.
But
we're living it. We're living that fantasy life.
No, I went last year for the first time and I loved it. It was my favorite trip that I ever went on. So
Boston really is the best.
Mm-hmm.
Great city.
Yeah, the garden was so nice.
Yeah, they recently redid it.
Yeah, so cool. So in the event that we would be, going out, with a bang, what would your song be that you'd be listening to while you're going out?
That's a good question.
Mine would be something off of the folk. Can I just put Folklore Taylor Swift album on repeat?
Folklore Taylor Swift.
Yep.
Everyone else would be like, okay, we can go now.
Yeah. And if I had to say specifically, probably right now, My Tears Ricochet, that's up there for me. So
is that a new one?
Yeah, it's on. Have you not listened to the new album?
I'm not
are you not a big fan?
No, I liked 1989 and before that.
Okay.
That was my Taylor.
I've liked her from that single of Tim McGraw dropping all the way till now and forever.
Die Hard.
Yeah, I am. But I take pride in the fact that I liked her before she got famous. How when you feel that you found an artist before everybody else did or before it was cool, I like that part of it.
That's how I feel about AJR, because now everyone's like, AJR.
I don't know who that is either, but I I'm the worst at knowing anything, any new music or.
Taylor.
Mhm.
Just Taylor. That's it.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift is the best. Mine would be some sort of country artist. I'm a big Luke Combs fan. Probably something Luke Combs.
What was your fantasy destination again? I don't remember your answer.
Oh, it would be an island somewhere.
Oh,
Like
okay.
an island.
Mhm.
Like, you know, where you can get one of those like tiki like things on the water.
A little umbrella in your drink.
You know, like those huts that like hover over the water.
Yeah.
Look down, you smell like the fish.
Yes.
So Mexico.
I feel like those come up on my.
Like Fiji or something.
Yeah.
Like a random like remote. Like don't come near me. I'll be on like a little blip of an island somewhere.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Like St. John's or whatever they're called. Like, you know, those little islands.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can find me there.
You can find you there listening to Luke Combs.
Yeah, I'll listen to country music.
Oh man.
And
Yeah, I wrote down, I was like, enjoy the silence by Depeche Mode because, you know, be silent after we were all gone.
Valid.
I was like, let's just go with the morbid answer. Everyone else is like, the final countdown.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Final countdown. I know, I'm trying to think of.
So what would your last supper meal be?
I would probably be sushi, to be honest.
Nice.
But sushi from like Vancouver, like that's where I'm
Oh,
from.
our sushi isn't good enough for you.
No, it's not.
I guess the nice thing is you wouldn't have to worry about feeling full with the last meal. So go big or go home, right?
Yeah.
I would definitely, I would get steak, mashed potatoes, asparagus, and then ice cream for dessert.
Richardson's ice cream.
Richardson's ice cream, or Lizzie's if if traveling was limited, or both, because this is the end
of the world. Like they're gonna get it for you.
My favorite of everything.
Yeah, who would be at the table with you eating this stuff?
It'd have to be a big table.
Yeah.
By myself. Hopefully.
You would be by yourself.
On my island.
No, when I thought of this question, I just imagined like that picture of like Jesus, with everyone
like the actual
at the end of the table. And everyone's just like, let's go.
I know that would be a
yeah, that'd be hilarious. It's just all the disciples. But yeah, let's get into the rapid fire questions for you guys. So these are very off the dome. They're really trivial questions like what's your favorite color and that sort of thing. But yeah, let's go. Favorite sports team?
Sports team ever? Detroit Red Wings.
I guess I would say the New England Patriots.
And what was
Can't go wrong with any Boston team. What's that?
I said, what was your answer, Kaleigh? I didn't hear it.
Oh, sorry. Detroit Red Wings.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I see how that is.
Not
someone you look up to.
The current Detroit Red Wings.
No, not the current.
No, you're like the Nicholas Lidstrom.
Yeah, the 70s.
Zetterberg, Datsuk, Yzerman.
Like the Gordie Howe type of stuff.
From the 70s on, diehard up until probably when Datsuk left the NHL.
Sad times.
Sad times.
When he left. Ugh.
Yeah. But yeah, someone you look up to.
My dad.
My brothers. Both my brothers.
Oh, that's so sweet. Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Oh.
Did you say waffles? I like a nice fluffy buttermilk pancake.
That sounds great.
Syrup or no syrup?
Syrup.
Okay.
Yeah. Would you not get syrup on your waffles?
No, I do. I like maple syrup.
Oh, okay.
She's Canadian, obviously.
Right. That's true. That is true.
Favorite TV show?
The Office.
The Office, of course, of all time. Seinfeld, probably of all time.
Oh,
That's
wow.
a good one.
I did not know that about you.
Ooh, learning new things.
Game of Thrones is also up there. You know, I think but The Office is just the clear number one.
I feel like if season 8 of Game of Thrones is better, you might have that as your number one instead.
You know, yeah, I guess most people were very disappointed. We won't do spoilers, but even though if you haven't watched it by now, I don't know. If you haven't seen it or seen spoilers by now, then, you know, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I knew it had to end a certain way, so.
Well, my biggest question is I've never watched the show. Did winter finally come? Because, like, I don't know.
Winter came.
It did?
Yep.
Was it bad?
It did. I think you should just mix that in with your Harry Potter.
Okay.
You have about 80 hours to go, but you start.
Hey, I've heard great things. It should be fun.
Start to finish, it is. It's a great show.
Do you guys have any hidden talents?
No.
I don't know if it's a hidden talent, but my tongue can like touch my nose and my chin. I don't know if that's a hidden talent though.
I mean, most people could do one or the other.
Well, I can do
Some people can do neither.
No, I would say I don't know. No, I don't.
Okay. Do you guys have a dream car?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
Yeah, what is your dream car?
I would say probably like a completely blacked out, like old school Porsche, like everything black though, but like a Porsche from like the 80s.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And that would be like, and the inside would be completely like tan seats, but the whole outside, everything else is black. Mm-hmm. Black rims, the whole everything.
Well, I feel like the tan might get a little dirty.
What?
Would the tan get a little dirty?
It's just a fantasy car. Come on.
I'm not great with cars. You know that. When people are like, oh, you saw I can't even think of an example right now. Oh, the Porsche driving by. I'm like, that was just the red car, right? You know, like I'm not good with cars, but I always, you know, when I was little, I wanted a Jeep Wrangler. And I have a Jeep, but it's not a Wrangler, but I really like my Jeep. And I don't know if I can think of a fancy dream car, but I think I'm very content with my current car.
That's how I feel. I have a
same answer, but
yeah. Do you guys want kids? If so, how many?
Oh,
yes, definitely. But I don't have a set number right now. More than one, but I don't know. My family has 4, and I think 4 was a good, you know, growing up with 4, you know, 3 siblings. That was a very enjoyable childhood and experience. So 4 is a pretty good number for what I would think around.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do want kids. Probably like 3 or 4. I don't know. Like I don't know. I say that, but who knows? I'm gonna have a kid if I'm gonna want 3 or 4. I was a part of 3, and I thought we saw it was cool to have. Like I always really liked having. I was the youngest, so it was always nice to have like 2 other brothers. I kind of wish that there was like another girl around in the house or like another sibling, so that I wouldn't get tag team or like beat up all the time. So maybe I would want that for my kids as well.
It's okay. My brother's 6 years older than me, and I always was the butt of every joke, and you know how that goes.
Yeah. Totally.
I know, yeah, because you're the baby. I'm one of the middle. You know, obviously.
You're chilling in the middle right there.
Yeah.
Like, y'all can argue. I'll just sit back.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I was probably the one starting that, and I was always in the middle of it. But, you know, we had fun.
I bet.
Nobody got too hurt, so we're okay.
What is the best advice you've ever received?
Do you want to go or do you want to
I don't know. You looked ready.
I think the best advice I've ever gotten was don't care what people think. I think that was the best advice I got. And I think that was at a time when I was like going through high school too, where feel like at that age, you care so much what people think about you, or you care so much what people think in general. So yeah, I was given that advice, and I would say that's probably the best advice I've been ever given.
I think mine's pretty simple too. It's, I think, just work hard and have fun. My dad would say that before all of my games growing up, but I think it extends to so much more than sports. Like, you know, if you're just putting in the effort and really making the most of it and working hard, but at the same time making sure you're enjoying it, I think that's what's important. So that's something that I try to do every day.
And my final question is, are you confident in your answers?
Am I confident in my answers?
Yeah, from like this episode.
I think so.
Yeah, I think we kind of talked it out a little bit and put some thought into it. Some of those rapid fire ones are definitely,
they make you think,
tricky,
but they're
yeah.
not supposed to.
Yeah, I know. It's supposed to be rapid fire, and I'm over here like, well.
Every single person never did it rapid fire before you guys, so you guys are good.
Okay.
I don't do well with the rapid fire questions.
No, I feel like those are the harder ones because you're like, oh, I don't have a quick answer.
Right. Or the succinct answers. I'm like, people don't need the explanation, but I usually give it, you know?
Yeah.
So every single question, it was like, this is the logic behind it. This is the thinking. But
Because
no, pretty content.
We have to make it logical for everyone to understand for some
Right,
reason.
true.
But like, we're all figuring it out. We all don't know what's happening.
True.
Yeah. Well, thank you, girls, for being on my podcast. I had an amazing time talking to you guys. Yeah, this has been amazing.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, and hopefully I'll see you all in my next video. But yeah.